Thank you, Dr. Callahan. We really appreciate all that you do, your remarkable leadership. And on behalf of SETSI, we thank you so much for participating in our discussion today on our YouTube channel that we have. We really appreciate you today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for asking me.
Awesome. So as always, we begin by acknowledging the original stewards of the various lands that we are on. We also acknowledge our ancestors. We acknowledge all those who toiled without compassion or compensation. We acknowledge all the elders and community stalwarts whose shoulders we stand on as we build, share, learn together for our collective liberation and sovereignty. So if you can please do us the honors by introducing yourself to our listeners and viewers and tell us about your remarkable work.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Mott. My name is Dr. Caroline Power, and I'm founder and CEO of Canadian HR Group. And Canadian HR Group has been around for the last 14 years. We operate right across the country, and we do business through 4 businesses that are in our portfolio of businesses. The work that we do is corporate training. We started our business, I started my business doing a variety of pieces of work, pieces meaning verticals of work within the HR space. So we started at the time, it was there was a recruiting piece of work that I used to do. I used to do coaching. I used to do training. I used to do leadership development, a number of things in HR. And about 8 to 9 years ago, I niched down, and now the only thing that we do is corporate training. And we do corporate training to businesses and within for employees. So some of the businesses that I have in my portfolio are B2B businesses, and some are B2C businesses, and some are B2B and B2C. Business to business, business to consumer is what I mean by B2B and B2C. So that's what I do.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate that. That's very remarkable. And could you articulate your mission and vision for us? And I also like to say what inspires you. I combine the two together. So your mission and vision and what inspires you about your work.
Absolutely. So, everything that I do when I get up in the morning is about really 2 things. It's about helping to make workplaces better. So it's about the betterment of workplaces. We spend so many hours at work, people in general, that's the big we when I say that. And having, I grew up in corporate, and having been an employee for many, many years, I realize that although work doesn't necessarily make us ill, I'm talking about mentally or otherwise, people go into the workplace with their own situations, wherever they are in that spectrum or multiple spectrum. But what we have to deal with at work exacerbates where we are. So if what we have to deal with at work is good, if the situation at work is good, it helps to make things better wherever we are. If what we have to deal with at work is hurtful or harmful or both, it makes things worse in terms of where we went into to start. So first focus of my work, all of my work, is about helping to make workplaces themselves better spaces for us in which we should be existing. The second thing that is the focus of my work is to help to enrich the careers of people who are in those workplaces. So the careers within the workplaces, perhaps, or careers beyond the workplaces. And so it's really 2 things that I exist to do. I call those things my purpose.
Awesome. Very, very needed. Very needed. Amazing. So on the other side, what challenges or barriers have you faced in your work, and how have you worked to overcome them?
Well, besides not having enough time, we all face that. So I find on the B2B side, business to business side, for some organizations, and mercifully fewer these days, but some organizations will say they want this and they'd like this and this is the goal and so forth. And some organizations will put the money behind it. They'll support it financially. But when it comes to integrating and operationalizing some things that need to be done to get them to where they should be to create holistic workplaces. Action isn't there. The will isn't there. So that's the challenge that I think about. It's easy to think about just the commercial aspect, but none of what I do is about commercial. Yes, of course, I do need to keep the lights on and put food on the table. I do need to do that, but I also, importantly, I'm looking at legacy. I'm looking at making a difference and looking at, besides taking care of self, how can I take care of society? How can I help others? And my other is of course business or government or not-for-profit. That's my other, and my other is also individual. So that's one challenge. Just sometimes the lack of follow through to operationalizing what they've invested in. And then oftentimes there's a challenge around on the career side, the individual side, people taking the next step. So they've taken the training, they've gotten the program, they've gotten the credential, whatever it is, but doing what is necessary to turn that into something that can be something for yourself, to commercialize it. It's one thing to take a program and you've got the credential or you've got the knowledge and have it sit on a shelf or have it sit in a binder or have it sit in a hard drive or have it sit somewhere. But it's quite another thing to convert that to what your so what is going to be. What is your so, now that you know all this, so what can you do about it, or do about it or do with it? So sometimes I oftentimes find that I hear about stories, I hear about success stories, but I also hear about stories where people may not be doing some things, and I think, oh, that's just too bad.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. And so what are you working on currently? Like, what are your key priorities that you're working on right now?
How long do you have? As you see, I laugh easily because life, I just think life's too short. You can't be, you just need to move on with it and keep it light. No, so for my business, Cdnhr Group, it is a service business. So we are big and strong on digital. So why I start with that, because it being a service business means that our website is the first thing. So I run 6 websites because each of the businesses that I talked about, B2B and B2C, each one speaks to a different group. So for each of those, I have a different website. And you're running even one website, there's always updates. So think about that times 6. So all of that and graphics and digital and social media to support that. So that's the current business, which is a portfolio. And then, I can't share details because we have some for intellectual property reasons, but we have some exciting things coming up in the AI space. I'm super excited. So there's work there, and we are a little bit of ways down the path on some of that, but I need to move that through the right channels before I meet the public. So there's AI work. There is some work around looking outside of our borders. Again, that for intellectual property reasons I can't share, but we also have started some work to lay that the foundation there. And so this fall of 2024, we're going to be moving outside of the national borders in a bigger way. And then we are also looking at some work internationally, actually, like across one of the oceans. And we're currently, as we speak, I'm currently working with putting together some partnerships and setting up some collaborations across oceans to make some things happen elsewhere, completely outside of the people space, in a different kind of domain in the tech space. So a lot on the post COVID. So for 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, sort of stayed very calm, and then the world opened up again, and the world opened up differently. It's a different world, really, and so with it being different, many opportunities have come forward.
Absolutely. This is the era of abundance. So,
Absolutely.
you can see it, you can feel it,
Completely. But
Yeah.
then you also have to be looking for it so that you can see, you can notice, you can identify when you see it, because things can come to you, and if you're not really looking for it, you don't see it. But
Yes,
it's to go for it expectantly so you can see the things when they show up.
when they show up, exactly. Awesome. All right. And how do you feel about the future of social impact in Canada?
So when I think about social impact, Matt, I have a definition in mind. I'd like you to articulate for me, because I see your organization talks about social impact. What is your organization's definition of social impact? And then I will answer the question in that context.
Okay, well, social impact, I mean, what we clearly deal with is just, as far as with humanity, right? With our collective consciousness in the community form, we amplify work. We make sure that the ones that are doing the work, right? The ones that are like yourself, really have that leadership role, making a difference in community. Our job is to amplify it and to make sure that the connections are made, that the collaborations are made, so that what they have done is amplified even bigger, so that we can help more communities. You know what I mean? So our basis is, as far as social impact is concerned, is amplifying the work of the leaders that are doing the work.
Understood. Okay. And when you say the work, are you speaking of the DEI space then, primarily?
We have, there's DEI, there's more than just DEI. We also deal with the ones that are, challenged, whether it's through visual impaired or hearing impaired. We work closely as well with that. Also seniors, so there's a lot of different aspects, more than just DEI. There's other facets to it.
Got it. Really, so the human rights, that human rights spectrum, where it's anybody that sort of fits on. I understand. So thank you, and that's why it's great that I asked you to, because that can mean so much. So my work is we don't do any DEI work. In one of my businesses, we do have one offering that is about cultural sensitivity, one offering, but everything else is about ensuring that workplaces are kept violence, anti-bullying and anti-violence free, anti-sexual harassment, sexual harassment free, differences around age and so forth. In terms of my own personal perspective about the future of social impact, I believe that our country, Canada, is moving in the right direction. I have to say so. We certainly are not perfect. We certainly have some mud to still get off for ourselves, that we're going to try to do as much as we can as a country. But from the perspectives of indigeneity, the perspectives of how people love, how people worship, the perspective of racialization, whatever race is, it's to the various, or colorization. I think that the future is bright. I think that we have to start somewhere, and I think we've started. The country's started. I know that there's a voice that says, whoa and poo, and we haven't done enough. And maybe I'm not sure what enough is, but in my mind, once you start, as long as you're heading in the right direction, I think this is good. This is good. And so I certainly, if I can call out a specific variable, in a few years ago, September 30th was named to be the Truth and Reconciliation Day. And for me, that was very personally enriching. I just thought that was great that we called it and we gave it a day and we're respecting. And so because the land acknowledgement you gave at the start, where we have to give respect for the land that we're on. And I do a lot of work with Indigenous communities, so I have a real space there for Indigenous communities. Myself, my own race, of course, when the George Floyd thing hit in 2020, that wasn't the start of it, of course not, but that amplified a lot of things. And I think that since then in the world, but in Canada, we've done a lot of good work. I give a nod to Black North with what's been done there. I give a nod to other organizations with what's been done there. Is it perfect? Are we at end of job? I don't think so, but we started and we're pointed in the right direction. And I think to me, that is good. And the future is bright.
Very good. That's a wonderful way to look at it as well. I feel so too. We'll see.
Absolutely.
Yes. Mm-hmm. All right. And so, what's your ultimate goal, and what does success look like to you?
When I think about success, beyond, so I characterize my own success as a function of the success that I have in helping to make the world a better place. So I don't think of my own success in just a dollar number. I think about it, so what I've set out to do, my goal to help the world to be a better place is to help to make workplaces better and to help people to self-actualize in their careers, whatever that self-actualization will look like. It'll look different for different people. And so to the extent that I can touch as many workplaces as possible across the country, if I could touch every workplace that is in our target group, if I could touch each person that is trying to maximize a career, to me, that's the ultimate goal. And so success means me being able to do those things in a way that my clients are satisfied. That's success for me. Yeah. Of course, if that happens, then that is going to affect my financial situation. And so to me, that is success.
Success. Awesome. Perfect. Perfect. That's amazing. So my last question to you, do you have any last closing thoughts or calls to actions at this time?
I'd say broadly, starting to the one of the about two demographics. The first demographic is workplaces, is to understand that everybody that is in that workplace needs to feel psychologically safe, meaning feel emotionally safe. Everybody needs to feel like they belong. Everybody needs to know that they're wanted there. It shouldn't be a lip service situation. And so my first call would be to organizations of all size, all industry sectors, to take a long, hard look at some of your practices, not your policy, not your procedure, not your processes, but your practices day to day. It's one thing to say the thing, but it's another thing to truly create a workplace that sustains psychological safety, sustains mental well-being at work. So that's the first call to action for organizations of all types and sizes and industry sectors to look at how they operate. And then the second big call to action would be for people in careers to understand that no one's going to come to save you. You do have to take your steps, but and once you've taken your steps, then you need to go to the so what. Because a lot of people take the step, they do the thing, they do the credential, they do the first part, but then think that will take care of everything else. And actually, that's not the case, because you need the social capital. You need to have the network. So there's social capital. You need to have the determination, the drive, all of those things to get you to where you want to get to. Understanding that not everybody has the same destination in mind, but you need to figure out what the destination looks like for us and how we're going to get there. And of course, perhaps putting both of those together, let us be kinder to others than we think we need to be, because you don't know what other people are going through.
Absolutely. That's such a perfect sentence to end this. Absolutely. You don't know what other people are going through. You may have a smile on the outside, but don't know what's going on in the inside, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's amazing. Dr. Caroline, I really, really appreciate this. This is why we do what we do, is to amplify the work of such remarkable leaders like yourself. And we wish you much success in your endeavors, your future endeavors. And I'm sure we will definitely collaborate again very, very soon. So on behalf of Sexy, we thank you again for participating today.
Absolutely. Thank you for this opportunity, Matt, and I wish you a terrific rest of your day.
Thank you. So I'm going to end the same way that I began, by acknowledging the original stewards of the various lands that we are on. We also acknowledge the ancestors. We acknowledge all those who toiled without compassion or compensation. We acknowledge all the elders and community stalwarts whose shoulders we stand on as we build, share, learn together for our collective liberation and sovereignty. All right. So thank you again, Dr. Caroline. Have a wonderful day.
You as well. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.